So let's look at torque in terms of some images from the glenohumeral and the shoulder complex. So here we have a frontal view. So you have your sternum, your clavicle, scapula, and your humerus. We're looking at the coracobrachialis coming from the coracoid process to the shaft of the humerus. And torque is force times moment arm. And we're dealing with internal torque. That means the muscle force times the internal moment arm, or what I term the IMA. So we have our center of rotation, we have our internal force, which is the force of the coracobrachialis from the insertion point acting up. And then you have your IMA, which is the perpendicular distance from the line of action of force to the center of rotation. And this internal torque will create an adductor torque. Another view, we're looking down the horizontal axis from above, or superior view. We have our center of rotation at the glenohumeral joint. This time we're looking at the pectoralis major coming from the intertubercular groove. And we have a clavicular head and a sternal head. And actually it's coming off the greater tubercle. And so it is, since we're looking from above, we're looking at medial rotation of this muscle, so one of its actions. So we have the line of force coming from the attachment point, acting out. It's going to pull you into internal rotation. And the IMA is the perpendicular distance between that line of force and the center of rotation. Third example is our latissimus dorsi, again in a frontal view, but we're looking posterior, so we can see the spine and the scapula. And it goes and inserts into right near the intertubercular groove of the humerus, comes down the spinous processes, down to the thoracolumbar dorsal fascia. Center of rotation is glenohumeral joint. Again, you have your line of action of force acting from the attachment point down through the muscle fibers, and the IMA is the perpendicular distance between that line of force and the center of rotation. You can see here, this is a good view of how much greater the internal torque for adduction that the latissimus dorsi can provide compared to this little one of the muscles off the scapula, teres major, which would have a much shorter internal moment arm. And since the muscle belly is smaller, less cross-sectional area, it would create less force. One thing to note though, whenever you're talking about the latissimus dorsi, always put the teres major in there with it, because the nickname for the teres major is the little lats.